Hey everybody, Alex Kozora, SteelersDepot.com, back with some more Pittsburgh Steelers preview and prediction for this Week 10 game between the 6-2 Pittsburgh Steelers and the 7-2 Washington Commanders, both teams leading their respective divisions. Let's talk about it. Before we start, if you guys could like this video, subscribe to the channel, and check out the site, SteelersDepot.com. Would really appreciate that. So previewing this game, starting with the Commanders offense, obviously one of the more surprise teams of the year, led by rookie sensation Jayden Daniels, who kind of has a CJ Stroud type of mystique about him this rookie year. Different types of quarterbacks. Obviously, Daniels more mobile, but just in terms of the way they're able to immediately infuse energy and, of course, success into the franchise, it's been really fun to watch from afar. So this offense for Washington is really fun. It's really interesting and inventive in terms of what OC Cliff Kingsbury is doing. They throw a lot at you. And the challenge for Pittsburgh's defense will be just being able to play fast. Pittsburgh is at their best when they're playing fast, they're playing physical, they're attacking the ball. Washington's going to run so much misdirection, so much window dressing. Of course, the run element of the quarterback of Jayden Daniels is going to be a factor as well. Had a video on the channel earlier this week talking about the Pittsburgh has struggled more against those run threats when they're slowing down, having to read the mesh point, and backside pursuit players like Watt and Alex Highsmith can't attack the way they traditionally prefer to attack. So how well can Pittsburgh diagnose and key things and be disciplined will be really important in this one. Washington running the ball at a very high clip. They're second in rushing attempts entering the week, but they're first in rushing attempts if you take away the fourth quarter and kind of focus on less game circumstance related things. But they're 7-2 for a reason. They will be without Brian Robinson, their top rusher in this game. That'll be big, but still have a good run scheme overall. All those guys are having success. Eckler and one-time Steeler Jeremy McNichols, and so even though Robinson's not playing, they're still going to be a big threat just by the design element in which they run the football, and of course you throw Daniels on top of that. So, I think in terms of defending them schematically, how do you handle all the different kind of body types and characteristics? Even with Robinson out, you got speed at receiver, you got some size at receiver. They're going to run multiple tight end sets. They're going to put two backs on the field, true pony with Austin Eckler, who is a really good receiver going back to his Chargers days, can split out wide, can basically line up anywhere and do anything for the offense. So can Pittsburgh handle with all the personnel changes? And the Commanders use pace, and they're going to go tempo and no huddle. They're at home, so they'll be able to do that as opposed to on the road where it's more difficult. Can Pittsburgh handle all that? The game plan's going to have to really be important. The coaching's going to have to really be important with a great game plan. Any in-game adjustments, that's the concern there. That run game has to be subdued. The pass game for Washington, Daniels is throwing an accurate football. They got speed at receiver and McLaurin. They use some vertical divide concepts, and so Pittsburgh probably will play a lot of zone. That's their personality in general. When you're facing a more mobile quarterback, you're going to play a lot of zone, have eyes on the football. I think Pittsburgh will have to do more than just spot drop and just play straight traditional cover three. I think they're going to have to be able to match these routes and carry things vertically. Otherwise, they could get stressed over the top. Noah Brown's a big body, so being able to combat him is going to be important. And, of course, defending McLaurin as well. So the pass game, I'm a little less worried about overall, but of course, if the Commanders are in rhythm and their offense is rolling, then it's going to just naturally open up the pass game as well. So it all works off of each other. Other factors, can you get those red zone stops? The Washington Commanders will likely move the ball. They're going to get some yards. They really struggled in the red zone this year. It's interesting. They're the third-ranked scoring offense, but they're 26th in red zone efficiency. I don't know exactly how those numbers comport, but that's where they are at. And so can Pittsburgh, with their number one red zone defense, have success? They should. On paper, they should. But when you factor in all the elements the Commanders' offense can bring down the low red zone, it is going to be a lot to handle. So that'll be defining. And then can you force a takeaway? I'll take even one takeaway because Washington, to their credit, just has done a fantastic job of taking care of the football. Only 3 turnovers in 9 games. I think that's an NFL record. It's certainly the NFL best mark this year. They have not turned the ball over since week 5. Can Pittsburgh get at least one? That'll be a big change in this game. Defensively, Washington has done okay. They're a defensive coached unit in terms of head coach Dan Quinn. That's his background. The points per game allowed, they've been really hit and miss. They've had 4 games where they've allowed, I think, 30 or more points, and maybe 3-4 games where they've allowed 15 or fewer points. And so it's really been either good days or bad days for that defense. Pittsburgh can certainly run the football on these guys. The run defense statistically has been poor this year for the Commanders. They play, at least in recent weeks, a lot of too high. I think Pittsburgh should come out, be a little less tight and heavy in this one, because when you're in 11 personnel, the Commanders are often responding by playing too high, and so that's going to help lighten the box. And I think with the way this run game is rolling, with how well Najee Harris is playing, you get back Zach Frazier as well at center, you can have success even in those lighter boxes where it's 6 blockers versus 6 defenders. The Commanders don't play a lot of base defense, although they wouldn't anyway in 11 personnel. But I think you can run the ball against those light boxes and have success. And so running the football a little more on the perimeter, maybe not always the crack toss game, but a little more off tackle, I think can be the way to win. I've seen that have more success than interior, just straight duo runs have not maybe been as successful. But I think you can get out there on the edges and make some plays. I also think Pittsburgh can take advantage in the secondary, where the Commanders are pretty similar to the teams Pittsburgh has seen in recent weeks, the Jets and the Giants. More zone heavy on early downs. They're going to run a lot of cover 2 on first and second down. Third down, they're going to man up, play cover 1 robber, and they're going to bring some pressure. And so Pittsburgh has had success beating man coverage. I think Russell Wilson is better overall at attacking and throwing against man coverage than he is against zone coverage. And you've seen that success overall against the Giants and the Jets, who had those similar personalities. So the Commanders will show some more chaotic looks on third down. They're going to walk out some defensive ends. Watch out for number 92, Dorrance Armstrong. He kind of lines up all over the place. Some of those linebacker blitzes and wraps and stunts they're going to run, that'll be important in this one. I think the back protection in this game will be important, but Pittsburgh has one of the best in the business in Jaylen Warren. So defending all those things will be key. I think Washington can be thrown on. They will not have Marshawn Lattimore in this game. He will not play with a hamstring injury that hurt him, or that he was dealing with, I should say, with the Saints before the trade on Tuesday. So that's a big win. They got one corner's big, St. Juiced, but the other one, Sanders, still is really more of a slot type, playing on the outside. He's played well, and I like him coming out of Michigan a lot, but undersized. And so you have 2 now big receivers in Mike Williams and George Pickens. Can you take some shots down the field? I think you might be able to in this one, especially if you do get some occasional one high looks. I think if you're Pittsburgh, you're running at 11 personnel, you're running play action at 12 personnel, where you're kind of baiting the Commanders to start bringing down that safety, and then you get those 1v1 matchups over the top. That would be my game plan. All right, so for my prediction in this one, my world-famous predictions, I went back and forth. I went into the week watching Washington's offense and saw the success that they had and what that'll be tough for Pittsburgh to deal with. But the Commanders' defense has their faults as well that I think really plays well into what Pittsburgh has done in recent games. I'm going to give the slight edge to Washington in this one, pick them to win 30-28. I think it will be a more high-scoring type of game. I think that Washington can have success against Pittsburgh's defense and vice versa. In the end, I think Washington with their quarterback run threat is just going to be too much of a factor in this one, and they may get just enough stops on defense to pull this one out. But it'll be a great litmus test. Should be a close game. And then, of course, you have the AFC North gauntlet on the other side. But I got Washington winning this one by 2. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Appreciate you guys watching. Again, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and check out the site, SteelersDepot.com. Thank you again, and we'll talk to you soon.